Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be a renovation of our little farmhouse farm situation that we have for our Lucid Legacy Challenge. Obviously, if you watched the last Lucid Legacy Challenge, you saw that by some miraculous miracle, we actually won the lottery. I'm still like kind of shocked by that, but with obviously having all of this new money, I figured now is the time to really get in and completely renovate this entire farm because this is a big part of the challenge in itself. Is eventually we're supposed to grow the farm and kind of take up the entire space of the lot with the farm situation. So I kind of had this idea that I wanted to do for a really long time of basically having the farm house in the middle of the farm, but then sectioning off the rest of the farm and having little sections for the farm. So that's basically what I'm starting here, where with the fencing is I have the whole entire lot in a fence, but then there's a little bit of an extra fence separating the farmhouse from the rest of the lot. And basically, each section is going to kind of have its own specific use. So I'm separating each of the animals in different sections. So obviously, with that first section that you saw there, I did the gardening stuff and everything. So I put all of the farm products, I guess you would say, or crops in one section. And now this is a section that I started making for the horse specifically. I did eventually bring back the fence a little bit so that I could actually put an outside fence so the horse can go outside to that little section over there with the, I guess I don't even know what it's really referred to, but like that little off property there that we still can have access to, but it's not a part of our lot. So I figured I just would have access so the horse can go back there because the horse would spend a lot of time back there on its own anyways. And I was intending for the horse's lot section to be a little bit smaller, but then I kind of figured if I wanted to like actually play with the horse a little bit more and actually do some of the jumping and barrel racing and stuff like that, um they're gonna need a little bit of bigger space. And I do plan on utilizing the horse more. It's just really hard to deal with animals in The Sims, but I feel like now that the kids are getting older, the and everything, they're all soon gonna be aged up, and they'll be like at least children, and soon, eventually, like teenagers and everything. So I figured some of the kids could probably like start getting into horse riding and everything, and then like they can like maybe do some competitions and stuff with the horse. So that's why I made that section a little bit bigger and added in all of that stuff so the horse can do that. And so instead of having it blocked off, the whole middle section now is basically going to be designated for like the house essentially. Because obviously, as well, I thought about the fact that they are going to be getting, the kids are going to be getting older, so they're going to need some space to play and stuff. So I figured we'll just do that, and then the rest of the animals are going to be on this side. And um that's how it's going to be. I do plan on adding in goats and whatnot too. And so I figured to kind of just take up some space in the back here, we could do like a little greenhouse situation. I've never, I don't know if I've ever really built like a proper greenhouse in The Sims before, but I figured, especially now that we have the kit, that's like the greenhouse kit. I recently had gotten that, and so I figured what better way to use that or a better time to use that than for the build that I'm building now, or the, and adding a little greenhouse there. Because I do want to eventually, I keep on saying this, is we've been collecting flowers from our garden for forever, and I keep on saying that I'm eventually going to start letting them do some flower arranging so we can sell the flower arrangements that we have, but I still haven't done it yet. But maybe with having a greenhouse, we can dedicate that to like growing flowers and making that a little area to do flower arrangement. But I did extend the house a little bit, so that for one, we have plenty of money now, but then also just because the kids are getting older, like I said, and I figured, to me, I would love to make sure that like all the kids have their own little space because they've grown up pretty close and on top of each other for the most part. So I figured everyone having their own little space would be good. So that's why I decided that we definitely should renovate the actual house itself a little bit too. So I didn't want it to be like too big or too like big of a expansion as far as like the main structure of the house. So I mainly wanted to just add a little bit on top as far as like a second story. Here I'm just moving the pieces because I didn't want to have to completely build a new roofing situation. So I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want the whole upstairs to be like a new situation. So I just added in a little bit, or I mean, it's the majority of the house, but like I didn't want it to be too big. I just wanted a couple rooms upstairs. I figured the parents could stay downstairs and everything. So I just added that to the section. And I always struggle with floor plans. It's just I don't know why, but it's just not, something that came naturally to me. And I also struggled here a lot because I wanted to have kind of like a um what is it called? Like a foyer situation, or just I wanted that area to be open to the downstairs. And for some reason, every time I would try to do that, it kept on deleting the stairs. So that took me far too long, and then especially since when you'll see eventually with the floor plan that I ended up doing, it literally like takes away some of that anyways. So that was a little annoying. As you can see here, like I ended up turning some of that into a wall anyways, but it's fine. It's whatever. But I figured all the kids could basically have their rooms up here. And I was gonna start putting like the toddler beds and stuff and just moving all of the kids' furniture upstairs. But then I figured because they're still toddlers, I don't want to have to deal with bringing toddlers or waiting for the toddlers to go up and down the stairs. So I figured while they're still young and still toddlers, they can just stay downstairs. But then once they age up, which should be soon because they're not that much younger than their brother, they can eventually just go and move their stuff upstairs. And then since the living area is still pretty small, maybe after they move, we can kind of rearrange the living area again and make it so it's a little bit bigger, and so like they can actually really have like proper family time in the living room situation. But then also they have a farm and it's always super busy. So I don't know how realistic that will be anyways. But right now I'm mainly focusing on kind of getting a nice good space for the parents, and now they finally have their own bathroom, so that'll be nice. I mean, obviously while the toddlers are still downstairs, the toddlers are still totally gonna end up using their bathroom, but eventually they'll have their own space. So I was just focusing on kind of expanding that and figuring out. I just struggled with like the layout of this bedroom a little bit because I don't know. I don't know why I struggled so much, but I did struggle. I don't know. I'm still like iffy on if that's exactly how I want that situation to be, but that's where I kind of ended off for a while. But then I figured another area that we could really like do better and like make nicer is the kitchen, since like I said previously, is once we sell all of the stuff that we already have in stock for with the selling table that we have right now, I would like to start doing like baked goods and selling that as our way of getting money. Because I think that would be really nice to kind of do it that way. And I think we could probably make more money if we sell food rather than like eggs and milk and stuff like that. So that pretty much is my idea with that. And I think it'll be nice to have like a bigger kitchen, so we can have a little bit more room in the kitchen. Grace will definitely have plenty of space to do all of the baking and cooking that she needs to do. And I figured because of the layout of the house, we would just, instead of, I was thinking about putting in an island situation in the kitchen, but I figured we might as well just save a little bit of space and not have it like super super crowded by just putting a dining table kind of in that same area that I would most likely would have ended up putting the island in. And I honestly think that it looks pretty good. Not every kitchen needs to have an island. They have a big enough kitchen, so I think that's good. And so right now I was just kind of adding in all of the little bits and pieces from the little, I don't even know what it's called, but the kit that has the greenhouse stuff. I have no idea what, I don't know what most of the packs are called, so you know that's just my problem. But I wanted to add in a lot of the bits and pieces there to kind of just give some, you know, character, I guess, to the garden, or not the garden, the greenhouse. And then here, I wanted to. I initially was just going to have one big area for the sheep and the goats, but then I figured I might as well separate them so they have each their own little section because it is a big enough lot. So for that, so I basically made little stables for them as well, just like the horse. Basically, kind of just made a miniature version of it, since they are many goats and many sheep. Um, and I just did that. I honestly wasn't too sure exactly what they needed, so hopefully that's all that they need. If they need more, we could always get more, but that's all I really saw in the pack, anyways, as far as to add anything for them. And I just went back into the bathroom to kind of fix that up a little bit more because I figured now instead of having wood in the bathroom, we should probably have actual proper tiling in the bathroom because I can only imagine how gross and just horrible it would be to have a wood floor in the bathroom. But regardless, I basically just copied and pasted the bathroom that we had downstairs, upstairs, but I just did do like a shower tub combo for the kids because I know I hate when Sims do and have baths because it takes so long. But just in case every once in a while they want to have a little bubble bath because it does help with their fun, they can do it. But preferably they'll just do a quick little shower. Um, and then for the most part, I'm pretty much done most of like the big building aspects, and so I was just trying to add in as much character and like add in to a lot of the bits and pieces and decor bits from the horse ranch pack, and then also like just cottage living and stuff like that. And I did eventually decide to make a little back area, even though they don't have access to get to the backyard. Maybe eventually, once the twins get aged up, I can make a door to get back there for everyone. But for now, I figured it's fine because they're going to be spending so much time outside anyways that they'd probably, at least as far as right now, they're going to be spending so much time outside that it doesn't really matter how they get inside. But I actually think now that I'm thinking about it that it would be kind of cool to have like a little mudroom situation since they do spend so much time outside where it's kind of like they get cleaned up after being outside all day. But you know, that's some more expansions that we don't need to worry about right now because this took me, I spent like 2 different sessions and it took me quite some time. I think probably a total of like close to 4 hours to do all of this. So you know, I'm not going to be worried about doing any more renovations for a while to this house unless like I notice something that definitely needs to be fixed right away, which I don't think I fully finished after filming. I think I did like change a few like minute like unimportant things afterwards, but for the most part after I finished with filming my reno, I was pretty much done. Um I enjoy building, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming, especially when you're spending hours upon hours. And then when it comes to editing it, it takes even longer because I know me, I get distracted sometimes very easily. And so I have to cut out a lot of still moments whenever I do film and edit my builds because, you know, between my cats and then just living life, um, clearly I take a lot of breaks. But like I said, I'm just adding the little bits and pieces in here. I decided to add the little insects to the farm. Will I do anything as far as actual gameplay with those insects? Probably not. But just for the aesthetic and the appeal of it all, I decided to add that. And then, like I said, I did want to add in some bits and pieces for actual like fun time outside. So I did like a little campfire and I added in some swing sets and everything. I'm always really indecisive, so I think I added in. Oh, I totally forgot that I did add in the little selling table, the stall selling table situation. But it took me a bit to kind of decide on the different uh, play things, the swing sets and whatnot that I wanted to have for the kids to play with. But I finally decided I wanted it to be a little bit more rustic looking, and I did also decide to remove the trees that I did have in that little back section and add in the treehouse. So then that way, eventually, one day, if we ever have time, um, they can build the little treehouse, and then that could be another way that the kids can kind of just get away and have some fun. Away from like all the farm life, but pretty much I'm pretty much done with this build. I spent so long doing terrain paint and I'm still not good. But it's like I said, it's pretty much over and done with. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.